Howdy folks, so today we are talking about the leaked list of ability cards courtesy of TezFunds 2. It comes from TezFunds 2, which generally means it's 100% correct, but he also predicted that the summer update would come out on the 20th, and then it didn't come out on the 20th, so, you know, there's a lot of gray area at this point, but it looks like TezFunds has gotten a bunch of information recently and has let it all drop, so at the very least, I feel like we should all be aware of all of this, so that's what this video is about. Let me know what you think of this information in the comment section down below, because that'll help everybody else really. If you comment what you think, then somebody else can go down in the description and see like what the general opinion is on this, which is really cool. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the leaked list of ability cards. Now, if you follow TezFunds on Twitter, you won't have seen this. He didn't at least leak stuff on Twitter, which is surprising to me because he is pretty notorious for doing that, but he's taken quite a step back as far as, you know, since Red Dead Online is released. And typically on Twitter, if you follow him, you just would think that he tweets out information, but thankfully, I don't actually remember how this got in my ecosystem, but thankfully it did, and we can talk about what he posted over on the GTA, I think it's the GTA Forums Red Dead Online speculation page. So apparently somebody sent him some stuff, and he'll explain this himself later, but just to give an overarching view of it, apparently somebody sent him some stuff, and he is now allowed to post it, but he didn't find this information himself. Somebody went out and got this information and then showed him, and then he believes it to be true, so he is sharing it with everybody else. That is as far as the origin goes, as I understand it, of this information. Basically what he says, and I'll read off his posts like I said in a moment, but basically what he says is there's a bunch of new Red Dead Online cards on the chopping block, that or they are cut content, but there's just too many to be cut content. Things like Ain't Gonna Die This Easily, and, you know, like the Eternal Flame and Cannoneer and the Long Game. These are all like potential card names, and it's really cool because it shows that Rockstar is really looking at putting Red Dead Online in a new light. You know, as fans, we've heard them time and time again saying, oh, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna make it super immersive this, and role-playing that, and all that kind of stuff, but we really haven't seen much implementation of that, right? We've heard a lot about it, and then we've kind of seen them go dark as of late, and it's, you know, it's interesting because it's like, wait, are you making sweeping changes to the game like you said you were going to, or are you totally ignoring the game? What's going on here? And it looks like they might just genuinely be taking their sweet time on this update to make it better, because we're looking right now at a list of ability cards that, according to TezFunds 2, is about 30 deep. So I'm gonna start reading off his posts here, but like I said in the beginning, essentially this is just leaked information, and I don't want you guys to take it to heart, but just keep in mind that this is like what the community, or at least some of the bigger people in the community, are believing to be true. So the first post we're gonna read off is actually like the meat and bones of it. It's not the first thing he said, but it's like the main part. It says, I counted 33 new ability cards. Some of them could be cut content, but you know, it's just too many cards to consider all of them as cut content. I guess you better prepare yourself. The prepare yourself being in reference to people really not wanting more ability cards. He says there's Cannoneer, Warhorse, the Eternal Flame, and one is called Ain't Gonna Die This Easily, and he said it sounds like some OP ability card. It kind of seems like these are all like Showdown series or PvP based. Warhorse, I would imagine your horse or whatever horse you're on probably can tank a few more bullets. Cannoneer, you know, honestly, I'm really not sure. I don't know if there's like gonna be some sort of hand cannon joke there where they're talking about, you know, the sawed-off double barrel, or if it's literally going to be the cannons that are in the map. I feel like that would be a pretty niche use, but it could do something as simple as make all explosions 10% bigger or something like that, and then, you know, you level it up, and then maybe you get 30% bigger by the end of Cannoneer. I'm not entirely sure. The Eternal Flame, I have no guess for. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the Eternal Flame and what it might be for. And then Ain't Gonna Die This Easily, I've seen some people speculate saying basically it might be like a last stand sort of thing. It guarantees a down state. Maybe the down state lasts for longer, so a teammate can come revive you, etc., etc. And then also another post that he says reads off as follows. It seems like Rockstar has a ton of ability cards and showdowns planned for the future, or some could be cut content. One ability card is called the Long Game, which from the sounds of it is the opposite of the short game, meaning you would deal more damage to targets that are far from you but less to closer up targets. And then when asked as far as the validity of this information or where he got it, etc., because it's the GTA forums, he definitely got asked where he got the information from. He said the info wasn't discovered by me me. I don't take credit for it. I don't know how it was retrieved, but I'm posting it on behalf of someone else who gave me the info. Yeah, I believe this info dates back to launch or the day one patch, but I could be wrong. Surprisingly enough, it contained info like Sadie being a stranger mission giver in Red Dead Online. Now, I would not typically say something like this, but I feel like he lied right there. I feel like he knows exactly how this information got obtained, but I feel like it might get someone in some sort of trouble, so he's just claiming, you know, ignorance on the whole thing. I like Tez Funds. I follow him eagerly. I always wait to see what he says, but I feel like he knows exactly how this information got to him. But regardless, I'm just reading what he said. And then in response to people being like, you know, really upset about like, oh, these ability cards that are coming are all PvP based and they're going to be a big problem, blah, blah, blah. He had, and this is going to be the final thing I read from him as well, but he had something to say on that as well. He said, keep in mind, all this info dates back to launch. You usually see developers leaving pieces of info on their games for future content, but that doesn't mean that everything that was mentioned will make it to public. Also, there is no way to check if changes happen to them because we're talking about outdated info. In other words, it may not be as worse as you all expect it to be. It could get new changes along the road that will make the ability cards at least bearable, like an option to disable them during PvP modes or lots of nerfs. One thing we can be sure of is that Rockstar won't remove ability cards, they will keep them. And again, interesting for a lot of reasons, everything that we've gone over today, but I do want to spark note a few things that he said, because I feel like that last post was really people-pleasing. I feel like, you know, saying that they're going to add a bunch of nerfs so that they might add a switch to turn it off. I feel like it's pretty obvious that's not coming. I feel like it's pretty obvious that's not coming, at least till a PC port, which, I mean, even at that point, I feel like you'll just join a server that doesn't allow that instead of, you know, actually, but regardless, that's just my theory on it. I don't think ability cards are going anywhere. I don't think there's going to be a switch to turn them off. I do think consistently throughout the life cycle of the game there will be nerfs. However, I think that is just a way to be like, hey guys, calm down, it's all right. Put the pitchforks down. Not saying that that's what he is saying there or what he means there. He could mean exactly what he's saying, but that struck me more as like a calm down the mob sort of thing. But at the end of the day, it's just really cool to see that Rockstar is going to take the game in different directions like they've said they were going to, because, you know, like we've talked about on this channel before, Rockstar is one for flowery language. They love to tell you that everything is going to be the most immersive and it's going to be, you know, you're going to be the Sultan of the West and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really look that way from their actions. You know, they announced stuff months and months ago and they kind of go dark on this entire game, while we see tons and tons of updates and stuff and, you know, just information in general being tweeted out for GTA Online, which is, as a fan base, I know really irking a lot of people, me included. And so to see them, you know, say things like, oh, we're going to make sweeping changes to combat, and then to hear nothing from them is a little frustrating. But when you see things like this, or at least when, you know, leakers and stuff do their jobs and they get the information out to the people, and we can get a peek behind the curtain, it does look like they are really going to make an effort towards putting this game in a better position. So like they're changing, like if you think about it from a grandstand, they're adding roleplay elements, changing the way that the controls work, and adding extra ability cards. So that's going to change the meta, add more things to do, and make the game more fluid. And as angry as I am about not having this update yet, if they really are trying to do all that at once, I understand why it takes longer. Obviously, that is not speaking to their lack of communication, which is, at this point, just frankly ridiculous. But, I mean, in general, as a fan, you know, as a consumer, you kind of have to, like, you can only vote with your wallet, essentially. And considering that I've already given my vote for Red Dead Online, I would like to see it become the best that it can be. That being said, I do want to say, if that wasn't clear throughout this is old info. Like, this came out, like, I think 2 days ago, but it was data mined at the beginning of the launch cycle for Red Dead Online. I have no idea why it would just be coming out now. I feel like somebody maybe sat on this information. I don't know if it was Tez, I don't know if it wasn't. Maybe it was the guy who gave it to him that was sitting on it, but it seems like there was a lot of things that we would have liked to know that we did not wind up getting the information for until just now. But I mean, I can only imagine if they said there was going to be Cannoneer, like, what, 6 months ago? I mean, we'd be like, where is it? What happened? Same thing with that leaked list of wagons and houses at the very beginning of the life cycle for the game. Like, right when Red Dead Online was announced to come out, not even like when it was out, there was a list of purchasable properties, and wagons. We've covered that before multiple times. If you've been into the game for a while, you've probably heard about it a few times, but this could be something like that. It could be something where, we hear this information and it never comes to fruition, but also it really might be something that we see in the game fairly soon. And considering there's just been zero information, I thought this was worth putting together for you guys. So regardless, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys did like this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of it, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new Red Dead Online video. Peace.